Okay, I think I'm starting to get this figured out. Strange, I don't have quite the hang of it yet. Take it right off. Look at this hole. Oh, hello, bee friend. So let me show you my method here. I'm starting to get kind of good at it. Some of the areas that I'm dealing with, really big gaps. So this one here is a good example. I've already filled this a bit, and I can still get most of my fingers back here. That's been the case for a lot of these. It's also taken me a lot of time to get some of the loose mortar scraped out. I went around with a screwdriver first and just kind of got out all the bigger loose stuff that I can. And then I just take some compressed air. And then I'm kind of going back and forth on, I was for a while using just a spray bottle with water to wet down the surface. That helps it to stick for sure. So maybe on the more surface level areas like this, that might help. So it doesn't just go on and fall right off. But that also seems to make it take longer to set up. The grout bag is fairly easy to clean out. I've been just rinsing it out at the end of the day, but really you could just let it dry and then the next day just, twist it, crack it all up and shake out the hard bits. You also have to be careful. I ran into this a couple times yesterday as I'm scraping out the loose pieces of mortar. Some of them drop into my bucket, and if I don't notice, they get scooped into the bag and then they clog up the tip. Watch out for that. I just got this garden shovel here. This seems to be the best to get it in there. Stepping on the tip, taking a few shovelfuls at a time. And I'll take this up and I'll just kind of shake it until I see it start to fall out the bottom. And then grab it down here, give it a bit of a twist, and we're ready to go. It's important to wear eye protection. If there's a little air pocket in here, as you squeeze it out, it'll kind of pop and it could spray some back at you. Before I refill the bag again, I'm going to go and clean this loose grout out of a bunch of spots so it's ready for me. This is a good example of a piece of old mortar that is kind of difficult to get out, and you might think, well, if it's not coming out, it's not coming out, might as well leave it. The problem is this is doing nothing for holding the stone in place. That is what I am most trying to accomplish here. Some of the stones in the worst spots, like this one, for example, that I had to fill it so deep. Yesterday, I was able to move this stone back and forth. It's not good. I want to get all this stuff out of here that's not doing anything at all so that I can fill it. Okay, so once this starts to harden, this is a little harder than I like it actually. This is a little too soft still. But this stuff, we got to smooth it out now. So I'm going to go back here with my finger. And in this case, I'm putting a lot of pressure on it. And I'm just kind of getting it really pressed in to seal all those little spots. This one's still a little soft. Over here, this part's perfect. Let me get down there. Need to press that in and smooth it out good. Now, a lot's going to fall off, and that's okay. That's how it's supposed to happen. But if you can manage to catch some of it, I like to just take a little on my finger, and then I'll find some little spot. Here's a little tiny crack, and I'll press that in there. And other spots that need it, seal up whatever I can. So it's very strange. I don't have quite the hang of it yet. This whole line was put in at the same time. This stuff feels good. This stuff is way wet still. And this stuff is good. I don't know. Spot's pretty good. Just really mash that in. Don't worry so much about getting it on the stone. We'll go back and clean that up in a bit. We'll let this harden a little bit more before we do that. Well, here's a piece that was so loose, I was able to just take it right off. Cool chance to see, though, what's behind this. Anyway, so I took this off. Now we can clean this out really well and stick it back. But even this rock on top of it is moving around a little bit. It's not Not good. I got it back on. Man, that was not easy though. I had put down some mortar on the bottom and all along the back and the sides and everything to try to stick that back in there, like glue it back where it was supposed to be, kind of like, you know, how they probably built it to begin with. But the little bit of mortar that I built up on the bottom, that set up super fast. I imagine because there was so much surface area and the water was getting wicked away from the old mortar and the stone around it. So I ended up having to take away most of that mortar that I had put in there, and then it still was hitting on top. I had to chip away at all the old mortar on top because it kept hitting the top. It wouldn't go in, and then I couldn't get it to sit in there straight. I would set it in there, and then I'd take my hand away, and it would try to fall right back out. So I've got this little piece of old mortar just in there as a shim right now. If I took that out, the whole thing would probably just fall right out. But we finally got it, and then once all this new stuff is hardened, I think we'll be fine. All the things that I discover about this house, the deeper I look, just amaze me. Look at this hole. Just a hole right into the house. That would be going into the kid's bedroom. I don't know what could have been in there at some point. And then just above that is that. It's clearly where the power line used to be attached, I'm guessing. And no one bothered to seal that up. At least this was overlapped the correct way on this side. Okay, so I've got a bucket of water down here and some sponges. I bought a 12-pack of sponges because these are getting all torn up. So I just go back to a spot that I just did, and I just lightly go over the rock here and try to take off the little bits that got overlapped. You don't have to be perfect, of course, but use a little harder edge to define where the stones are. You can even go over the mortar itself a little bit to make that smoother if that's the look you're going for. There's another good example. I'll wash the sponge again. Well, some of these spots I wish I had gone back with the sponge a little bit sooner, but I got tied up getting that stone back in place. Okay, it's time to put the sealer on the stone. It's supposed to keep it cleaner longer, protect from debris, make it not so porous so water doesn't get into it. You can use it on concrete as well. So it says slate, paver, stone, and concrete. This is supposed to give it a wet look, which I'm not so sure we're going to get that. I tried it on a little area in the back, and I don't know, it doesn't really look wet to me, but we'll see. To try to make this go quickly, I happen to have this electric paint sprayer, so hopefully I don't have to brush the entire thing. And if that does work well, then we're going to use 2 coats on this. I got to remember how this works. We're going to fill this up. Okay, we're supposed to put this thing on. Okay, that feels attached. Then you got to pop this thing open and tilt it this way and squeeze all the air out of it. Oh, it's starting to spill out over there. It's not supposed to happen. No, nothing's squeezing out. Okay, there's a very tiny hole down in here that I believe was clogged. And of course now I've snapped this dumb piece of plastic off of here, so I don't know. We'll give it another shot. Hopefully it works now. Arrow has to line up with this thing to make sure it's sealed. Yeah, now it's working good. Okay, snap that on. So now we're plugged in. This is down in the prime position. So now we just need to shoot this off for 5 to 10 seconds. Then turn this to spray. Seems to be working pretty well. So I just kind of rinsed off this wall a bit, especially the windowsills and things where all the crap was dropping onto as I was working. It's meant to be totally dry before you start this, and also it's meant to not be in direct sunlight. We need to wait 1 hour between coats, so I just marked what time it is so we can start back at the top as soon as possible. The instructions did say not to let it pool up at all. So some of these runs I'm gonna go back over with a brush, and then I'm just gonna turn this sprayer down a little bit. That was all the way up at 10. Go to 5. Yeah, maybe try that. This little thing just opened up on me. So let's squeeze the air out again. It's not snapping shut like it used to be. And now the power cord came out. Refill. That was exactly 1 hour. I didn't do this side over here because it's in direct sunlight. Gonna try to wait for that. I'm gonna start the second coat now. The overspray is kind of getting on my camera here, so I'm not gonna film anymore, but it's going well. I think it looks good. This is apparently what happens when it pulls up. I can no longer brush that away. It's been about an hour. Oh, I guess with my finger I can still kind of get it smooth it out. Watch out for that. I'm definitely noticing that I'm getting more runs now on this second coat, which I guess makes sense. I just turned on the spray gun a couple more notches. Let's clean this thing out now. So I've got this all rinsed off and I've got it just full of water now. Stick this back on there. Okay, so I've got that on full of water. It says the first thing is just to shake it. Shake it for about 10 seconds. Then I'm going to turn this to the prime position. I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to go. Okay, now we're going to put this back to the spray position, but we're going to turn the tip to the unclog setting. We also want to turn this all the way up to 10. So let's redo the prime part, I think. All right, now we're going to turn this to spray. This is turned to the unclog position, and we're going to keep it upside down. We're going to go for 5 seconds. That's all it says to do. Look at all this. What is that about? Wow, this must be from the sealer. That's very interesting. I might do the clean again now that that's all out of there. Yeah, I'm going to rinse this out one more time and do that all over again. All right, just did that whole process again. And there's still a little bit of that stuff in there. I don't know what to think about that. Otherwise, this thing did work really well. I'm super glad I had it for this project, or I would not have gotten done in time. I've used this for primer before, and it was okay, but it kind of it pulses. It's not a continuous spray like an air sprayer would be. It's very fast pulses, but it's pulses nonetheless. So as you're going back and forth, you're going to see kind of streaks. So I wouldn't recommend this for any fine paint work, but certainly priming and in this case, just putting a clear sealer on stone, it worked great. That was maybe the best tool for the job. Graco TrueCoat 360. That is a wrap on this one. Pretty happy with how things turned out. I mean, the chimney looks a lot better. Some things I wish I had done. You can kind of see up here where the mortar on top is lighter and then it gets darker. And I'm not really too worried about that. I don't know, it just kind of looks a little patchy. There's no way to make it perfect unless you redid the entire thing, and we're not going to do that, obviously. So in general, though, I'm super happy with how it turned out, especially the sealer. Look at it again in 24 hours, but I'm pretty happy with how it looks right now. I also wish I would have put a tarp down to catch all this broken stuff that I was scraping out. Because now it's all into the mulch, and there's no good way to clean that. Could not have done it without this lift. That would have been a lot of up and down a ladder, while carrying bags of mortar and things. It would not have worked out very well. Glad I rented that. I gotta go rewash those windows now that there's some overspray from the sealer. Hopefully that comes off okay. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you would have done different. Thanks.